What's EVA Air's long-haul economy actually like? After recently flying their excellent premium economy to Taipei, let's take a look at their standard economy. Hello and welcome back to Chaos Aviation. Today we're at Taipei Taoyuan International Airport getting ready to fly home on board EVA Air's flagship Boeing 777-300ER in economy class. We've got a long flight ahead of us, so let's get checked in. Here at TPE, EVA Air exclusively uses Terminal 2. The airline has plenty of check-in counters, and since they open around 2.5 hours before departure, there weren't any major lines. The entire process was quick, efficient, and friendly. After a quick security check, we are now airside. There's still nearly 2 hours until boarding, so I spent some time exploring TPE's brand new Terminal 3 North Concourse. After a bit of exploring, I made my way over to gate C6, where BR8 was boarding. A quick look at our aircraft for today, Bravo 16716, and it was finally time to head on board.
你好，拜拜，谢谢。46折，谢谢。
我觉得你很棒，就到场变化。
If you'd like to see what EVA Air's business class is like, be sure to check out this video. And if you're interested in their premium economy, I've got a review on that as well. But for today, let's check out their economy. Welcome to Seat 46 Kilo, a window seat located in the second row of EVA Air's economy cabin. EVA Air's 777 has 3 configurations. While the premium cabins remain mostly the same across all aircraft, economy varies. Newer 777s feature a 343 layout, while older aircraft like today's have a more spacious 333 configuration. This version features 221 Collins Aerospace Pinnacle seats spread across 2 cabins. Starting at the top, we have a nicely padded 4-way adjustable headrest. Moving down, the seat back and cushion are both comfortable, while the seat itself measures 18 inches wide. Turning around, the adjustable 10-inch IFE screen features both a headphone jack and USB-A port. As for the content, we'll take a closer look once we're in the air. Below that is a large and sturdy bifold tray table. Underneath sits a spacious literature pocket containing the safety card, Inflight magazine, and a small trash bag. Legroom is also very generous, which means I'll be very comfortable throughout the flight. Each seat is also equipped with a universal power outlet, which I found the charging speeds pretty fast. Soon we were ready for departure, and with EVA Air's new safety video playing, it was time to go. While we taxi, let's talk about today's aircraft. Bravo 16716 is a 16.5-year-old Boeing 777-300ER. It first flew in November 2009 and was delivered to EVA Air the following month. Interestingly, this aircraft was involved in an incident in July of 2024. While operating a flight from Los Angeles to Taipei, the crew encountered an issue with engine number 2 and returned back to LAX. The aircraft landed safely and later returned to service. Hopefully, we won't be repeating that experience today. Although we may find out pretty soon, as we're now lined up on the runway. Now that we're in the air, let's take a look at the amenities. Waiting at each seat was a nice plush pillow, along with a large soft blanket. I especially liked the texture of the blanket, which felt comfortable and cozy. Also provided were a pair of earbuds. While they're fairly standard, I appreciated the soft rubber tips, which made them fit very comfortably. While we wait for the meal service, let's check out the in-flight entertainment system. During takeoff, the glare from the sun actually revealed a fairly large scratch on the screen. Fortunately, it wasn't very noticeable once the display was turned on. The screen itself is actually quite responsive. When it comes to movies, EVA Air offers a large selection, including many new and popular titles. There's also a dedicated TV and music section, with many shows featuring full seasons and albums available to enjoy. One of my favorite features is the dedicated kids section, which is great for families traveling with children. Lastly, here's the flight map. It offers several different views and provides plenty of information throughout the flight. Unfortunately, there are no exterior cameras available. Overall, I quite like this in-flight entertainment system. It's responsive, easy to navigate, and does a great job of keeping me entertained throughout the flight. Around 25 minutes after takeoff, the cabin crew came around with a pre-meal snack consisting of mixed nuts, crackers, and a cup of water. For some reason, it took another 30 minutes before the main meal service began. I'm not exactly sure why, but by that point I was definitely starting to get a little hungry. Thankfully, the wait was worth it, as the crew returned with menu cards and 2 meal options to choose from. The choices were gambe barbecue karubi with steamed rice, or spaghetti with seafood in a creamy mushroom sauce. If you don't know, gambe is a well-known upscale restaurant here in Taiwan, so my choice was pretty obvious. The presentation of this meal honestly looks really nice. I especially like the individually packaged side dishes, as they give the meal a more premium course-like feel. Along with that, the metal cutlery included in the packet is a nice touch, and even the little tea mug feels surprisingly premium. I then got my drink of choice, an ice-cold Coke. Now, onto the food. Starting with the bread, it's nicely toasted, and when paired with butter, isn't dry at all. This small appetizer appears to be some noodles with slices of meat. Personally, I found it to be a little salty, but otherwise it was quite good. Next to that is a cup of fruit. For some reason, EVA Air never fails to deliver when it comes to fruit. It's always sweet, juicy, and refreshing. Finally, it's time for the main dish. Starting from left to right, there are several layers of barbecue karubi served over steamed rice. On the right are some vegetables, including broccoli and bell pepper. Sitting on top is a piece of tamagoyaki, a Japanese-style folded omelette. This dish was actually really tasty. The beef was flavorful and remained surprisingly moist. In the corner were some kimchi along with a really tasty green sauce, both of which added even more flavor to the meal. I then devoured the entire meal in no time, and it was finally time for dessert. Today's dessert appeared to be some sort of strawberry pudding, topped with a small layer of jelly sauce. It's certainly an interesting choice, but at least EVA Air didn't skip dessert. Honestly, that was one of the best airplane meals I've had in a while. Everything was delicious, and I almost forgot I was eating an economy class meal. As the crew came around to collect my now completely empty tray, they also handed me a bottle of water. Hopefully that'll keep me hydrated while I get some rest. After the meal, I decided to check out the restroom. Inside, you'll find a large changing table, 2 full-size mirrors, and a clean, spacious layout. As for amenities, there was hand soap, lotion, and even a selection of scented sprays available for passengers to use. Moving over to the sink, it's decently sized and features adjustable water temperature. The water pressure was decent as well. Cups and napkins were also provided on the wall, free for passengers to use. The wooden floor was pretty clean, and any water visible on the floor was from me washing my hands, which I cleaned up afterwards. Overall, this is a nice lavatory with plenty of amenities and a surprisingly spacious feel. I then spent some time exploring the aircraft. Near the rear galley, I found an even larger lavatory, which offered noticeably more space than the one I just visited. Also located in the rear galley was a self-serve snack station, where passengers could help themselves to a selection of snacks throughout the flight. After a bit of exploring, I eventually headed back to my seat and noticed a couple of small issues. There was a minor crack near the tray table latch, along with some wear around it. Honestly, it didn't bother me too much since it was purely cosmetic and didn't affect the functionality of the seat at all. As the sun slowly began to set over the Pacific, it seemed like the perfect time to see just how comfortable this seat would be for the long flight ahead. Holding down the button on the armrest and leaning back, the seat reclines a fair amount, about half a window's worth. Combined with the generous legroom, I found it quite comfortable and had no trouble getting some rest. I actually ended up sleeping for around 4 hours. When I woke up, it was time for a mid-flight snack. Yes, EVA Air actually serves a snack between meals, which is always appreciated on a long-haul flight. Today's offering was a sandwich filled with tuna, lettuce, cheese, and tomato. It certainly looked appetizing, and thankfully it tasted just as good. A cup of water was also handed out alongside it. After the snack, I decided to test out the Wi-Fi. During this flight, EVA Air was actually running a promotion that offered complimentary Wi-Fi to all passengers. After connecting, I ran a quick speed test. While the speeds were definitely on the slower side, I couldn't complain too much, considering it was completely free. At the end of the day, it's still better than having no Wi-Fi at all. By this point in the flight, there were only around 4 hours remaining. I spent some time getting a bit of work done, and before I knew it, the pre-arrival meal service was underway. Just like the first meal, there were 2 options to choose from. This time, the choices were a savory porridge with chicken and corn, or a vegetable frittata with bacon and roasted potatoes. Both sounded quite good, but I ultimately went with the porridge as I was in a mood for a lighter breakfast. A short while later, my tray arrived, and once again the presentation looked quite nice. Included was the same bread roll as before, while the side containers held an appetizer and a serving of fresh fruit. The appetizer consisted of mushrooms, seaweed, egg, and bell peppers. It was surprisingly flavorful and seasoned just right. Moving on to the main dish, it came with a packet of fish floss to mix into the porridge. Combined with the chicken and corn already in the porridge, it made for a very comforting breakfast. After a long flight, I especially appreciated having something warm and easy to eat. The flavors were excellent, and the corn added a nice burst of sweetness in every bite. Overall, I really enjoyed this breakfast. To finish things off, I dug into the fruit. Just like the first meal, it was sweet, juicy, and disappeared in no time. After the meal, I made another trip to the lavatory, and it was just as clean as before. It's great to see how well the cabin crew maintained it throughout the journey. Due to a strong weather system approaching San Francisco, we were set up to land on the 19th instead of the usual 28s, a less common approach into SFO. Eventually, it was time to land. After the announcements and the SFO welcome video played, the seatbelt sign was turned on once again. But before we get there, let's take a moment to rate this flight and talk about pricing. For today's 11-hour journey, I'll be rating this flight in 5 categories: ground experience, seat, cabin crew, food, and amenities, using the KS Aviation International Economy score. Starting with the ground experience, check-in was quick, friendly, and efficient, while boarding began right on time. There weren't any long lines or issues throughout the process, earning 4 out of 5 stars. Next is the seat. Although there were a few small cosmetic issues, the generous legroom, comfortable padding, and decent recline made this a great seat for a long-haul flight. 4.5 stars here. Moving on to the cabin crew, they were excellent throughout the whole flight. From the warm welcome on board to the efficient meal service and consistently clean lavatories, they did a fantastic job. 5 stars here. Following that is the food. While the first meal service was a little slow, the quality of the food made up for it. Both meals were delicious, the fruit was consistently fresh, and the mid-flight snack was a welcome addition. 5 stars. Lastly are the amenities. The IFE offered a vast selection of content, while the comfortable pillow, blanket, and scent sprays in the lavatories helped make the flight much more enjoyable, easily earning 5 stars. This means EVA Air's flight BR8 from Taipei to San Francisco earns a total of 23.5 out of 25 stars. And honestly, it's well deserved. The flight went by surprisingly quickly, and there was very little left to be desired. Lastly, before you touch down, let's talk about pricing. Due to the busy Christmas and New Year's travel season, I paid a total of $2,128 for the standard economy ticket. However, during non-peak travel periods, fares for the same experience can be found for around $900, which makes this an excellent value for a long-haul flight. Anyways, we're now on short final, so let's enjoy this rare approach into San Francisco. That was a pretty cool landing. After a quick taxi to the gate, it was time to deboard.
谢谢。
谢谢，拜拜。
Following a not-so-quick walk to customs, we finally made it to baggage claim.
Baggage claim 1.
Soon enough, our bags started arriving, but that's when something went wrong. If you can't tell, there's a massive dent in my suitcase. So let's see how EVA Air handles this situation. It's now been a couple of months since this flight, and I'm happy to say EVA Air repaired my suitcase completely free of charge. That's some excellent customer service. So it looks like this flight has a happy ending after all. Although there was a small hiccup at the very end, the overall experience was outstanding. I thoroughly enjoyed this flight and would absolutely fly it again. I hope you all enjoyed this review. If you've flown EVA Air's economy before, let me know your experience down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.